The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy.
The other side, Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
Some circuits are drilled into drivers' memories, be it your local track where you live or the place you got your first ever win. For most iRacers though, Lime Rock is a place where a lot of time and effort goes into practice in the early development of a driver. It's back to the beginning for the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour, and we are here on the global Sim Racing channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tidal Influence Countdown to Green and pre-race coverage of a season which has been very intriguing, to say the least, on strategy and on overall skill, but that will never, ever cease to amaze. I am #DoYouMind, Jake Sperry here, being the guardian of the gates to the castle, normally stormed by Bill Superstar. Joe Peak will be directing cameras and sound, while the mystery man, that is Dougie Beard, has created said cameras. But it's back to basics soup with the circuit of Lime Rock, which has featured some great action over the years, like the IMSA series and, of course, our fabled Camel GT series. Everyone has to know Lime Rock, so what do drivers not know?
Sure, and before I talk about the track, let me remind the viewers that most everything on the Countdown to Green is brought to you thanks to Tidal Influence, an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California, that restores wetlands, saves and studies endangered species, and educates children about our environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. Okay, nestled at the foot of the Berkshire Mountains in northwest corner of Connecticut, apologies, is Lime Rock Park. It is a natural terrain road course built in 1956. It is the oldest continuously operating road circuit venue in the USA and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It is as picturesque to visitors as it is difficult to drivers, and that is to say very. If you're a sports car aficionado, you know this place. If you're an iRacer, you've cursed this place as its free content and the birthplace of every iRacing road course career. iRacing offers two variations, one of which includes a chicane so insane the real-world track officials reconfigured it. Fortunately for the drivers today, it is the full road course that is at bat, sans that ridiculous chicane. Lime Rock is short, only 1.5 miles around, meaning lap traffic is almost always a factor. It's a clockwise racetrack with 7 turns, 6 of them right-handers, so if you can only afford to take 2 tires during a pit stop, swap out the left sides. And it is tight, with passing often being a case of the hunter having to wait for the prey to make a mistake. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention elevation, with a daddy go faster, honey slow down bump that has put countless poorly aimed cars into the wall. But enough said. The best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board and take a lap around.
Alright, we're in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Lime Rock Park. Down in a big bend, this is usually your best and only place to try and pass on the track. You'll take it into this first apex pretty fast, let it bleed off speed as you drift out in the middle of the corner, and then bring it back in tight for the exit. Switch sides quickly because the left-hander comes up fast. There'll be a temptation to turn in too early, but this corner needs a very late apex with it leading into the S's. You might need a hair of a lift through the kink of turn 4 just in case you catch the inside curve, but in the best case scenario, you're flat out. The no-name straight is going to weave back and forth slightly, so straighten it out. Then brush the brakes into the uphill. Be sure to keep the wheel straight as you come over the crest, or else the car will want to come out from under you. Hold to the left side of the track and give it a small lift into West Bend. Watch out for the inside curve because it can unsettle the car and there's not much runoff on either side. Plunging down into diving turn, breathe off the throttle and tuck it right into the groove. If you got it right, you'll be back to full power to give you the best run onto the front stretch once again. And with that, you've now finished a lap around Lime Rock Park.
There we see the GSRC MX-5 taken out for yet another spin. It is the touchdown of vehicles in the GSRC collection that wins Super Bowls. But 2 rounds into the championship, still a long way to go here in round 3 of the season, and the championship is always the big playbook that people want to keep referring to. So, Soup, tell us who has been lighting it up since Donington.
Hey, before I do that, we have a quick interview as he's going to go to qualifying. I want to welcome back to the series Season 8 champion, Evan Maillard. Evan, do you have a copy?
Yep.
Hey, welcome back. I see you're a little bit down the charts a bit. That's to be expected. How you been?
I've been doing great. Yeah. It's been so long since the last time I've been here. It feels good to be back, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I'm done on the grid of the practice session. Maybe because I didn't do drafting. I don't know how I'm gonna qualify, but we'll see.
All right, well, we'll give a quick interview that's open for qualifying. Go out there, keep it clean, and we'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Evan Maillard, a quick interview for us there. It was nice of him to come in. Now let's go ahead and talk about the points. You know, I'm addicted to catchphrases, so let me get my fix early on here in the broadcast. His 4 wheels scare the cockatoos from Kintor East to U-Man-Do. And of course, I'm talking about Sonny Catch Me If You Can't. And with championships in season 11 and 12, having 2 wins in 2 races so far this season 14, the Aussie driver is well on his way to a 3rd crown. How about Robert Hartley? He's keeping catching honest, just 29 markers back. Defending champion Arrow Numb and Patrick Fliss are both up a spot into 3rd and 4th. Making room for the Roland Estonian and the Slovene machine is Brian Holmes, who drops 2 spots down to 5th. After a horrible opening round, Travis Swenke, a.k.a. Dory, well, he does what he does, just keep swimming, and sure enough, he rockets up into 6th. A pair of rookies sit 7th and 8th in the form of Richard Worth and Daniel Hunt. Behind those rookies is the Bay State Hammer. 2nd in career starts Tom Ratchey, and Dries Nice rounds out the overlay. Quickly, let's talk about the other championship crown which is at stake, and that is the AM Championship. This is for drivers that have a reputation of finishing down in the lower 2/3 of the field. Gianni Quintelier sits atop the chart. He's 18th overall in the championship, but only a point behind is class favorite Voslav, the Dutch driver. Had to serve a stop-and-go penalty last time out at Donington. Nevertheless, he scored big enough to jump 17 spots. Rookies Ludik Sauer and Skip Stevens sit 3rd and 4th, with veteran Jeroen Ursum hanging on to fill that last spot on the prize left side of the overlay. Jake?
Yeah, he certainly does. Level heads are needed when everyone is pushing to make their quest for fortunes, but fortune is not created unless it is regulated, and with any series soup, regulation is firmly in the MX-5 World Tour.
Yeah, for long-time viewers, take this opportunity to go to the kitchen, get a snack. For new viewers, pay attention. Schedule, this is round 3 of 12, no drop races. Anything that happens on the track counts. However, there is that unique MWT insurance plan that is no-show compensation. Basically, if you miss a race, you get scored a percentage of your average finish. How about race distance? Not 20, not 30, not 40. How about 47 circuits around this 1.5-mile venue? Now, setups, as always, are open, but there's restricted fuel. That's going to force everybody to stop one time for gas or petrol, depending on your continent of choice. The MWT's always been a no fast repair series. You break it, you bought it, and that continues today. And Lime Rock, you can really push the boundaries here at Lime Rock, especially on the exit of that final corner. Go off on the grass. There's no incident cap, but there is a miles per incident chart that they score at the end of the season. You sit at the top of that chart, you get yourself 100 points. That's equal to 1 race. You're well down the bottom. Let's say you're last in that chart. You're going to get scored as if you finished last 1 race. A championship can be determined by how well you finish on that chart. And one thing that'll help you stay on track is maybe how the weather conditions are. So, Jake, what's it feel like out there right now?
Well, it looks like it's going to be a relatively okay day. It's quite pleasant. 33 track temperature, 28 up in the air, partly cloudy, with a heavy wind, actually 14 kilometers an hour coming in from the southeast. So a lot of wind will be keeping these MX-5s in check around a circuit where it is very heavy from place to place. So you've got to be careful about where you put your vehicle, but it's all about qualifying at the moment. 10 minutes, 2 laps, and a lap that is 56 seconds in length. You don't have too much time. Stelian Shepelevsky then, drive to the line in the 34 machine. We'll see what he can do as he crosses the line. The answer is going to be a nothing there, so he'll stay position number 4 overall right now. And, well, as things stand, though, Soup, there are a few things that you talk about when things are getting close. Of course, the walls around this circuit, they are incredibly close for a circuit that is so narrow and short like this. The moment there's an incident, it could very easily turn into a car park.
Yeah, when they laid out this track, somebody should have looked at the property map. It seemed like they put the track all the way over on one side of the property. You go through the early parts of the track, 1, 2, and 3. There's a whole golf course on the other side of the track. You get around, start working through like 4, go to the uphill 5, and the west bend 6, wall, right to the left. So you get a little mistake there, and your day ends early.
It certainly does, and of course, passing into turn number 1 seems to be the only overtaking opportunity out on circuit. Defending to 1, you've definitely got a chance then at Big Ben to maintain the lead. And lap traffic, that certainly could be the factor today. Passing opportunities for leaders are going to be a premium. Back markers have to be smart and predictable, otherwise it can end in massive consequences. But Soup, I feel like a really happy man because I was the only man to win at Hans Milwar's casino last time out.
You were indeed. Let's talk about the over-under today that they set at the casino. It's 13.5 for cars to finish on the lead lap. And let me tell you right now, that's the over. Everybody thinks we're going to have a pretty clean race. Maybe the driver's going to have trouble getting through traffic, so they're looking at more 14 or plus cars to finish on the lead lap. I don't know. It's so short around here with some attrition. We'll see how that plays out. It's an even money bet.
It is an even money bet, but it's going to be one that's very difficult with currently over 45 vehicles in session trying to race. Richard Worth, though, we'll focus on right now. We'll see what his worth is in the number 5 machine. Hasn't set a lap time yet. His first lap then out of 2, pushes wide out of Westfield Bend, and now into the final corner, this long right-hander down the hill. Always very difficult to get right, but Richard Worth drives to the line for the opening lap. He'll have one more after this if he hasn't set a time. The answer is a 56.7. That's second. Richard Worth really putting in a show so far here, Sue.
Top rookie so far in the standings and gets up there. How about look at the driver in 4th? That's kind of a surprise. Good for him, and I'm talking about Steve Heppard there. Had a nice time of 56.8, about 0.3 of a second off Sonny Ketchen, who's sitting on the pole, 56.5.
And talk about drivers who have made major errors here in qualifying. Look at the 31 machine setting in laps. Dan Hunt has not set a lap time. He's got to do it all the way from the back seat.
That's your other rookie. He's right behind Worth in the rookie championship and in the points as well. My goodness, if there's ever a race you want to at least get in a decent, a mediocre qualifying time, it would be here. Who wants to start right now? 43rd at Lime Rock. That's just awful.
That is a very unfortunate place to start, but if anyone can get through with his reverse grid knowledge, it'll be him. Worth will not go any quicker on his second lap here, so he'll try and go through. Scott Brazier needs to make some gains in the 085, 57 for his best. Won't set a lap time, so he will be stuck as well in this situation. Joe McDonald, though, I don't think he had a farm suit, but I certainly think he's got 2 laps that he's needing to set.
Yeah, he's saying EIEIO right now as he's got to see if he can get in a decent lap time. Joe, a veteran of the series. He was well down in practice times as well. What he likes to do, he's notorious for just bringing the car home. Yeah, what he will be good at is he is a veteran. He knows how to get out of the way here. And there are opportunities, even though this track is really narrow. If you're a back marker, if you play it right, you can get out of the way here. A little lift here, a little dive into the apex and miss your apex, let the guy get around you. It can be done.
It certainly can be done. He now heads into the S with the right-hander and now down the no-name straight, which is not straight at all, which makes life really, really difficult for drivers when they are trying to make all their gains into the uphill. Right-hander looking to get as much power as possible for Joe McDonald and looking to try and get themselves through. And, of course, in this situation, straight after McDonald's laps are considered done, we will be heading over to the Heusinkveld starting grid. Heusinkveld offers a broad array of products and services, including advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware, and sponsors on practically every major team in sim racing today. If you're looking for an edge in racing, get in touch today at heusinkveld.com. Over the line, 58.9 opening lap from Joe McDonald. He will run out of time to set a second lap. 42 out of 42 that have set a lap time. So Joe McDonald pretty much towards the back, gains a couple of positions overall. So with that said, let's get the grid up on screen. Pole position for the 59 of Sonny Ketchen yet again at the front of this field, and the 2-time winner and the 2-time champion is making it to be a 3rd straight win as things stands. A 10.5 clear, almost 2/10 clear of Richard Worth in 2nd. Iru Nom, the rolling Estonian, will start 3rd with Steve Hefford having a fantastic job as Heff, with Chepelevsky starting in 5th and John Allen in 6th. It's Tom Erik Voll, newcomer, in 7th position in the Norwegian, with Travis Schwenke. Dory is there in 8th. Nick Thyssen will start 9th, and Evan Maillard will start in 10th.
Pavel Herman in 11th, Boslav. Bambi is here. Neil Bamber in the Baker's Dozen spot. Dries Nice. Noel Lundberg. Tom Ratchy Bayside Hammer in All Ribbons and Curls in 16th. Brian Holmes. Patrick Fliss. Wow, way down the road for Fliss. Atsushi Maeda in 19th spot. And 20th for Ludwig Sauer.
21, Blackjack for Jordi Fike. Kit the Hairflick Stevens in double deuce. Gene Fiddes in 23rd with Scott Brazier. Then you got Eric Garcia struggling in 25th. Dennis Gerritsen, 26th. Cesare Rizzo, 27th alongside Max Wright with Robert Veilinga and Derek Holland making 30.
31st, Lauren Murray, Billy Bob Wright, Nicholas Gallier back there, Andy Gooderson, Jeroen Urson, Mark King, Jonathan Boutel, George Dankert back there, Stevenson in 39th position, Lee Deemer, Al Heaton, Joe McDonald, David, Third Degree Burns coming over from the Absolute Beginner guys, Lorenzen and Hunt round out the 45-car field.
So Daniel Hunt will start from the very back. There is news, though, in terms of the penalty front. Pavel Herman will get a penalty to serve in the early stages. 2 minutes to grid up, or you start from the place known as pit road. And, well, you talk about all these drivers getting gridded up. They keep on going back and back and back, and they're almost at turn number 1 by the time, or the final corner of the downhill section, turn number 7 on circuit. Diving turn, as it is sometimes known, is the final turn that they are going to have. But 47 laps, it's always going to be a long race here, but it's going to be one where it's going to be full of excitement, two-wide racing, and everything in favour of that driver on pole position on the run to Big Ben, turns 1 and 2 out on circuit. That's Sonny Kanchin in the 59 machine. Richard Worth just alongside, but 2 minutes expires. Green flag in the air. Let's get ourselves going then here from Lime Rock Park, and it's a good start from Sonny Kanchin as they look to line up Linus Stern on the run down towards turn number 1, too wide in the middle as they get themselves through. Kanchin gets the whole shot ahead of Richard Worth, and in third place Iru Nom doing well, but look at this, Hefford under pressure now in fourth position as Chepaleski tries to go around the outside at Big Bend into the left-hander, the only left-hander out on circuit. That won't work. They fall back into line, being very well behaved in the early stages as they all almost about make it. I think they've all made it, Sue.
Oh, made it through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now they come up on the no-name straight. Everybody's still on the track.
Everybody just about still on the track. Kanchin trying to pull out a lead, but here 1 second is so difficult to make happen. Maillard, though, against Nick Thyssen here in the 15 machine. 008 against 15. And this is the thing, you've got to set up your moves here. It sometimes takes you 2 laps to get the vehicle out of position, and you see things happen and Soup.
Jordy Fike got in it with a big one. Also involved in that was Gene Must Finish Fittis. He's not going to get finished through the first lap.
So a big incident then in the early stages, and that one was heading around about the back of the circuit there. And yes, we did catch it just off of uphill. And this is the issue you get out of uphill, though, is because you got drivers trying to hold themselves into position, and 2 into 1 never goes.
Yeah, Fike got together with Gene Fittis, and then they collected a few more drivers behind him. One of them being the Bushfink car of Scott Brazier.
And Scott Brazier just having no luck when everything is happening. And we'll catch that one a little bit later on when things start to cool down. But here on lap 2, Kanchin, Worth, you got also there. Worth running wide, and Worth's going to clip the wall. Coming out of that big Westfield bend, down to the inside goes Knob. And looking to force the matter is Hefford here, trying to get himself up into the top 3. And now Chepaleski makes it 3 wide. Defensive taken, 4 wide, let's go. No, 3 wide, 2 deep, let's keep it. Chepaleski to the outside of Nom in towards 1 and 2. And look who's making his way through right now as you keep on looking forward. John Allen now trying to go down inside of Chepaleski, and they touch.
But they're all still going straight. With passing so tough, when the opportunity's there, you got to take it. And that's what they tried to do. Also making a move, Evan Maillard up to 9th.
Yeah, Maillard getting through Nick Thyssen, finally able to do that, but look at who has got away now. Hello, Sonny Kanchin does exactly what he does, and that's keep quiet, run away, and hope nobody comes to get him later on. And Kanchin on 1 lap pace alone, I don't think can be caught here, Soup. It is going to have to rely on drivers working together. Chepaleski versus Allen still going on, and Allen's got a good run.
Yeah, what happened there was a Worth incident that slowed down Errol Numb. Everybody lost touch with Kanchin. Now Kanchin can run some hot laps. We'll see if these guys can team up. as they run nose to tail from second all the way back.
But instantly it's 2 seconds Soup now that Kanchin has over the driver of Irunom, the reigning champion, the rolling Estonian. So Kanchin seems to be on hot form then here today at Lime Rock Park, and the bet of 13 on the leading lap right now looks to be a very good position. We have a couple of breaks here as it's Brian Holmes who actually is the back of the train in 17th. Now Brian Holmes, he's had an abysmal qualifying here today. He does not like this circuit. Look though to the inside from Hefford on Allen. That's not going to work.
As you're looking at it on that Dougie Beard camera angle, that is a 16-car train with Holmes the caboose that Jake just talked about running in 17th, and the leader up there being Errol Num in second.
Yeah, you certainly do. You look at Irunom here sitting in the big blind, small blind. Chepelewski under the gun is John Allen, and look who's in the hijack. Steve Hefford trying to make things through. Soup, I know you like your poker puns.
I do. I like that a lot. Hey, notice at the front of each driver's names, you'll see a P or an A. That stands if they're a pro or an AM driver right now. Evan Maillard is mislabeled as an AM driver. If he's an AM driver, then I'm the queen of Pangea. All hail my beauty. But right now, your best amateur driver is Boss Slob, racing back in 12th position.
And he's right in the middle of the train, and just in front of him, Dries Nice just in front of him. So Dries having a good showing then. He's up 3 positions in the early goings here, trying to make sure that he gets something magical, gets something working. But these early stages are going to be very interesting. You're always feeling out your opponents, working out where are they weak, where are they strong. But something even bigger than that Soup will be the pit stop window. With 47 laps, it's a lot wider than people normally give credit for it.
Yeah, and that pit window, and there's always a little bit of randomness mixed in there as well, and that could be the big hope for the guys in that train trying to assess Sonny Ketchen. If Ketchen can have a slow pit stop, maybe that'll get them back in the hunt. Right now, Ketchen having a nice run.
Maillard down to the inside at turn number 1. He's trying to get past Richard Worth. He has himself half a vehicle down the inside. He gets a full vehicle down the inside. Worth hung out to dry, but he's got the inside for the S's. They make contact. He makes room, does Richard Worth, and he's trying to know his money's worth right now on the outside, but the inside for the S's now comes back to Maillard as he tries to keep himself going through. And look at Worth get bumped off the train. There's 1 position. Here comes 2, because now Dries Nice wants to think he's going to get himself through. Now you feel Nick Thisson's already got himself through, and Bashlob, the amateur, has a look.
That was a case of, methinks we protested too much there, as Richard Worth fighting with Maillard. It ended up costing him 3 or 4 position. Look back behind there, that's Boss Slob. He's on the outside of Neil Bamber. Bambi trying to make a move as they battle for 12th. Slob is going to get that spot back.
And Mr. Consistency, Bambi is looking for opportunities, but now look at Noel Lundberg try and get himself through for the B2O Motorsports machine. And Noel Lundberg, certainly a driver you know in GT3 circles. He'll try and look down the inside. No, in front of that though, Dries Nice getting down the inside, and Nick Thisson taking that position away of position number 9. So gets himself firmer inside that top 10. Definitely has to be said. But just in front of that, Chepelewski's playing a block right now, because he's got Allen there, Hefford, Vol, and Schwenke all there waiting to get past. But Chepelewski needs a performance here today. Soup, he's had 2 non-finishes.
Yeah, we're actually seeing more passing done on that little straight out of the uphill into 6 as we are on the front straight. That seems to be the best spot right now as they go into West Bend, try to get on the inside there.
Yeah, they certainly are. Of course, there's battles up and down the field. And here's one. Car off. That's Dankert that's gone. The German, the lovable German that everyone loves. Jörg Dankert in the 246 then going off out of turn number 3 there. The left-hander, he just gets a huge kick left as he tries to swing it back to the right there, Soup. And it's so easy to lose these vehicles.
We'll take a look at that right now as we're looking at the German driver. The car gets loose. Then he gets out on the golf course. And luckily, that's the area of the track where there's plenty of runoff.
Yeah, certainly is. There was a bit of 4 left there from Dankert as he hoped to try and keep himself salvaged. He does. He's still in bounds and he's still driving along, but still lap 8 of this event, and already you feel how quickly this race has gone. Bamber still under pressure from Lundberg on the run to uphill. The back going on. P13, P14 out on circuit, and it's just about momentum this circuit. The moment you get good momentum out of one corner, you're sorted for about the next 3 here soon.
And as we look at that, look at the train go down the tracks there, we can report that Errol Num is pulled away from Steli Chepelewski now as he's running by himself. And keep in mind, I talked about maybe pit stop being the equalizer that brings Ketchen back. Don't forget, he's hustling around this place. He's going to be coming up on lap traffic, and that's another way for him to fall back into the clutches of the guys who are chasing him.
Exactly here. It's all about safety and it's all about how you keep on moving forward. And well, the next bit of traffic for Sonny Kanchan is at Sushi Maeda just in front of him. So he's got to be careful about what Maeda does in front, but that won't be for a few laps yet. But still, Chepelewski, Allen, Hefford, you got Vol and Schwenke all there waiting, and these are good points that are available. And what we've seen when the pit stop window happens, Sue, is that these gaps, these battles, they open up a little bit. You don't normally see these trains continue on after that sort of area comes into play. But let's keep an eye on Patrick Fliss in the one machine, though. 50 trying to bridge the gap back to Lundberg. He has managed to do so, and he's bringing back with him Rathje and Holmes and Ludwig Sauer holding on to the coattails.
Sauer having a nice race. Just to get an interview of lap times between the leaders and the guys at the back of the pack, it's about a second and a half faster for the leader, so it won't take long till they get there, especially with lap times of only 56 seconds.
Exactly. It's all about keeping within a moment, making sure that you keep those lap times fresh as possible, but the gap is slowly opening at the front of the field, Soup. It was 2 seconds, but now here on lap 10 it's 2.5 seconds between Nom and Kanchan. Nom, for all his worth at the front of the field, I'm not sure that he's got enough to close down Sonny Kanchan, and Kanchan saves fuel very economically.
Not based on qualifying times, an unqualified third, but he was about 2.5 tenths slower than Kanchan up in front. How about your AM championship? Let's take a quick look. We talked about Sauer. He's running well ahead of the guy who's chasing for third. That is Cesare Rizzo. Rizzo back in 19th position.
Yeah,
Jake, really clean so far, though. Much cleaner than we expected.
Exactly, and this is the testament to good driving. And Cesare Rizzo, a driver who said that when you make an overtake, you always roll the dice side by side, almost between Drace Nice and Evan Maillard. And Maillard holding on to position number 8 then here as he looks to keep that position nice and tucked up. Bashlob also looking at Richard Worth, who looks a little bit vulnerable so far today here. So he's down 9 positions from where he started on the front row.
Well, you talk about a driver who's down. How about a driver who's up? Let's go to 20th position, and it's Lauritsen. My goodness, the guy started 44th. He is racing in 20th right now. Next on his hits list is Cesare Rizzo. My gosh, what a great run from him.
Yeah, and Worth with damage on the front nose as well. You've got to be careful about that when you're going through. Dan Hunt, we keep an eye on the 31 as well. He's only up to position 32. He's plus 13. Yes, that's very good, but that's not what he wants. Alexander Lauritsen is decimating the traffic, and in front of him, Cesare Rizzo, a good buddy of his, so he'll know how he works certainly in these stages. But we'll keep focus on the 5 of Worth, who may be struggling on straight line speed as they're side by side in front of them. Schlob going to the outside, but look at this. Maillard on the outside here with Drace Nice down the inside, and Drace is going to hold that position down the inside and go defensive into the next left-hander. So good move from Drace Nice, and he hangs him out to dry.
So Maillard drops another spot. Remember, he's a pro driver. That A is a mislabel down there. How about we go up to second real quick? Any hopes of Errol Num trying to run down Sonny Kanchan are gone.
No, look at this. Nice is going to lose the position, and there we go. He loses it to the uphill. Didn't want to risk it at a very difficult section, but he'll try and get a better run off the exit. Here comes Thyssen having a look, but Nick Thyssen, the Gatheringer Tweakers man, is not going to be able to make that position happen. So it's 3-car train still here, Sue.
We won't go there. I can report that Jeroen Ursum just went off track and nosed his car into the Barbie machine.
Here comes Cheppy.
Look at this.
Yeah, certainly. Look at this. Chepelewski to the outside, and Cheppy's going to try and do it. Look at this. Allen's going to go very deep on the far extremes of the outside as he looks to make turns numbers 1 and 2 of Big Bend work. That won't work for him as they now head into the only left-hander out on circuit. But now Nom's got to be careful because he's defending and losing time to Sonny Kanchan at the front of the field. This could be classed as a runaway victory if they are not too careful about things. So Nom, Chepelewski, Allen, and they're trying to break away from Hefford. Hefford now about 0.8 of a second back, and this is a scary zone right now for Hefford, Sue.
Yeah, and right behind Hefford is a newcomer, Tom Erik Ball, the Norwegian driver, racing in 6th, having a good run. Welcome to the series. But the action, if we look up ahead, let's go up. This is Chepelewski, Deuce Allen, the Buckeye Bullet, trying to find his way around Chepelewski. We've been waiting for Stellian to have the race that we've expected, and right now, look at him close in on Num. Is he going to force the issue into 1? I think so. Now, what I'm doing that is going to let Deuce get up there, and they're going to have to settle down, boys.
Deuce in double deuce right now in 4th position. Deuce times deuce means position 4 right now, and you feel that John Allen needs to find something to get around Czepelewski, who is no slouch in terms of his driving skill and capability, no matter what the results have said so far this season for him. But look at how it's allowed Schwenke back in. Look at how it's allowing Vol back in. And Ludwig Sauer will keep an eye out on in the 8 machine, having a very, very nice scrap side by side as they go through. And through goes Kip Stevens, making that work.
Yeah, he had just looped it. He was racing up in 20th position. He has lost about 7 or 8 as he spun the car. I think this is going into 1. We'll see it right now. We're on board. The car just gets loose on him, and this comes around for a little half spin. Luckily, nobody collects him. As watch as the car pretty much parks itself perpendicular on the track. Everybody gets around him. He was having a great run as an amateur, but now he's fallen well down that ranks. Let's go to Boss Slot real quick, talking about amateurs. He's in a battle right now with Noel Lumberg. Lumberg really making a move. Now, that's a pro driver. Then there's, look at this, Patrick Fliss stuck back in, what, 14th position? My gosh, that just exemplifies the depth of the talent in the MWT. Right on board, we're looking there at the Slovene machine, notorious for bringing the car home, and right now that's probably the best he can ask for as he's in 14th position. Now, Worth is 11th. He has dropped about 2 seconds off of the guy he's trying to chase, Nick Thiessen, in 10th. There's a nice battle up there. Thiessen, and then here comes Maillard again on Dries Nice, Jake. Here he comes.
He certainly is. Maillard trying to go down to the inside, trying to take position, lap 16 of the event, and he will. Good move then from Maillard. He takes it away from Dries Nice. Thyssen waiting, hoping to try and get an opportunity. That won't work, and behind that, Richard Worth in a lot of pressure here. Slob, Lundberg, Fliss, Bamber, Holmes, all there, all trying to make this one move work. And right now, you have to feel in this situation, Baz Slob needs to get a hurry up here on lap 16. The pit stop window opens very soon.
Talking about that right now, the Bay State Hammer comes in. He's a veteran. My guess is Tom Tharble probably thought he was faster than the group he was racing in. Come on in, get that early spot. And he probably thinks he's faster trying to get around the lapped cars than he would be just sitting behind the guys that are slowing him down a couple tenths every lap.
Certainly is. Jordi Fike also down in onto the lane right now as they all look to go through. Allen versus Czepelewski again, though, down to the inside. And finally, Allen gets it, and Deuce up into 3rd, makes a very good move and makes it happen. So thank you very much, says the driver, John Allen. That's an easy one, Soup.
Yeah, based on what I saw last time, the Deuce was a little less wild going in that when he gets that pass made a little more conventionally as he moves up now into 3rd. Czepelewski back to 4th. How about Hefford in 5th, and the newcomer Tom Eric Ball back there in 6th, last of the train. Dory just keeps swimming in 7th. That's Travis Schwenke.
Yeah, and Schwenke hoping that he can keep himself into play in this event and hopefully has the opportunity just to continue working again and again, hoping to find that one opportunity. Had a chance at the podium last time out at Donington Park, but it didn't quite go his way.
Now, let's go up front right now as our leader starting to negotiate some laps cars. Stevenson gets out of the way as he was racing at 38, so he goes 1 lap down. Fortunately for Katchen, he's catching these guys that are not really in a battle as they're coming up on Lee Deemer. I think he should be able to make short work of him. Next up there, then it's Atsushi Maeda. He'll be able to do that one. These are nice single-file cars he's getting through. Good job from Deemer getting out of the way.
Certainly is, and well, you hope that the battles will be the ones that maybe trip up Katchen a little bit more. You hope they won't trip him up, but Katchen's got to be careful about the way that it's negotiated. Now the next train will start thinking about it here, about the lap traffic and when do I come in, when do I decide I need to dive in, just avoid as much traffic as possible and keep myself on this lap. And for those hoping that the Hans Milwar Casino was going to work for them, well, the top 14 are split by just 13 seconds out on circuit. That's how close everyone has been racing here today. But still, though, you look at this, Vol versus Hefford. Down onto the lane comes one of the drivers, that's Lee Deemer, out of the way lap traffic. Very good car control from him to get onto the lane.
And now let's go to Katchen. Now he's got some work in front of him here. He's got Stevens who's going to get out of the way. That's Kip. Stevens is in a battle with Maeda. And let me apologize. No, Stevens is on the lead lap. Atsushi is not. He is more than a lap down. Nevertheless, they do a good job. Yeah, this taken off onto the grass there, and that's how Maeda gets out of the way.
very well done as well there, Soup, in that situation. But right now, it's about more than just lap traffic. There are battles going on, and well, it seems that Wirth has lost a couple of positions. He's now down behind Patrick Fliss, so Schlob has got the breakaway that he's wanted, and now he can extend his legs in the amateur category. As things stand, Soup, he leads that category overall.
Yeah, and that's kind of to be expected. He looks to be the class of that amateur field. As long as he can keep the car on track, he should be getting good results. How about quickly we jump back to a battle we haven't covered. 24th position, Jonathan Boutel will get this while these guys are still on the lead lap. He's in a nice little 4-car train here. Boutel in 24th, Max Wright in 25th. Tom Ratchey now, remember, he's made a stop, so he's in that mix right now. He'd like to get around that guy. And then Nicholas Galley back there in 27th. So Ratchey right now kind of being held up by Wright and Boutel.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Ratchey now needs to make something happen.
Oh.
Bay State Hammer almost chiseled his way around, but that's not going to work. He's going to be held up and unable to get things happening for him. Now, if you had a bit of an eye about where Ratchey was in his battles, you'd hope that the traffic would get out of the way. But of course, Wright's in his own battle right now, Soup. That's going to mean not much help is going to be there on the track for him.
And remember, he's not being shown. Oh, let's go to George Dunkirk right now. I think this is pretty recent. I think he just got turned by Cesare Rizzo. This was a battle for position. See if our director can find it.
Well, it was one lap down Dankert, and well, you can see just a bit of contact off of the exit and a big hit into the wall. Dankert, well, he shouted for, now he's out of bounds.
That's a penalty stroke.
Unfortunately it is, and there's damage on the front there for Dankert, and he won't be too happy with that one afterwards, but there's not much you can do in that situation. Back for P2 though, still on Nom versus Allen right now. Uphill they head now into the wars, the right-hander, and hoping that everything works out in the favour for John Allen. And Allen just sitting, waiting. Turn 5, Westfield, well, turn 6 even, Westfield Bend, looking to get this downhill corner, the right, to just slingshot a good run, and he's trying to go to the outside. He works it to the outside, but Nom dives in, and there's traffic for him.
That's why that worked so well. I think Nom was, I hope he gave the news there. Allen probably thought, man, I'm making a pass on narrow Nom, but Nom comes in.
Yeah, Nom does come in, and he's, again, one of the first drivers to come in and make that stop. He's got to be very careful about when that happens. So 2 tyres or none is the question you'd go and make now if you're Eru Nom. And Nom right now, in that number 78 machine, hopes that his pit stop's going to be better than everyone else's, Soup.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that 2 tires are free, so unless you don't want to screw up the balance of your car, you can take left sides while they're still putting in fuel. It's not going to cost any time. 4 tires, that's another issue. Yeah, I'm just not so sure about this strategy, Jake, of Nom to come in. He had clear track ahead of him, and now, my goodness, he's got Jeroen Ursum to negotiate. Which right is that? Billy Bob right in front of him. And Robert Waleka, these guys are racing for position 18th and 19th. This can't be good.
No, it can't. One of the many rights he's managed to get past. He's got to get away past Billy Bob Wright at this moment in time. He's dealt with Ursum very, very calmly, but now he's going to start losing time in the battle, and that's going to be something just to keep one eye on here in this one. 2 vehicles of traffic between Kanchin and Allen, and the gap down to 2.1 as Kanchin really did struggle to get around the pair of them here. So now Allen's got to try and find a way past Stevens, who is a wily old fox he is, and Cesare Rizzo as well. So there's a lot that can happen, and when the gap comes down by a second, we talk about it, the race is not over for Sonny Kanchin. He's got to stay ahead of the trend.
Yeah, usually we would track Num's relationship to Kanchin right now, but I think the more intriguing race that Num is having, he's racing Deuce Allen, even though they are separated by about half a lap. They have to watch their lap times right now as Rizzo gets really loose in front of Stevens. Deuce Allen trying to get up there, yeah.
That's a dummy with Stevens. He thought about making a pit stop, trying to make sure Stevens goes with him. That didn't work. And now look at them on the racing line here, and there's nowhere that Allen can go, and he's hoping to try and find a way around at turn numbers 1 and 2. Big Ben, not going to work. Gets to the inside then for the S's section, and Stevens lets one through. He lets Chepelewski through, their teammates, and well, they'll also manage to let through Hefford and also Tom-Erik Voll. So they get through one very nicely. Rizzo's the next one that they have to negotiate here, and the gap down to just 1.5 seconds.
Really, the only big name driver that has come in for that stop is the Roland Estonian Errol Num. racing now in 19th position. I hear a pitting in from Gene Fittis. Remember, Fittis had problems early, so he's well off pace.
They're well off the pace right now, which is not a good idea. Currently 28 vehicles on the lead lap as things stand. One vehicle dives down onto the lane. That's Gene Fittis then deciding he needs to make a stop. As also in on pit road is Jonathan Boutel, another pro driver, as Rizzo gets out of the way then of John Allen. The gap 1.6 seconds between himself and Sonny Kanchan, and Irunom in comparison right now here, Soup. He's managed to just about get to a middle of yet another train right now. He's got Jordi Fike just in front and Derek Holland he's got to negotiate. And look how wide he runs off the exit.
We don't need to go there, but Neil Bamber just looped it. Maybe we can if we can get there. It's back just a few seconds. Neil Bamber spun it coming out of the final corner. He was racing on the lead lap in about 16th position. And what's interesting about this is he's able, watch it, that's fine, right there. He cuts across the track and he's able to get into pit lane.
Exactly what he needs to do there in that situation.
This will be fun.
If you've made a mistake, you capitalize it to the best of your advantage, and he did so. Traffic and Mark King gets down onto the lane. Sonny Kanchan will be very happy about that. Allen, Chepelewski, Hefford, and also Vol all stay out then in this one. They're not going to go in until everyone else goes down in onto the lane. And right now, Chepelewski gets around Rizzo, but Rizzo is being very, very not lazy, I wouldn't say. I was thinking about lazy. I decided to go against it. He's being calculated on when he lets the traffic through, because he's not actually holding himself up. He's making sure that the traffic works around him.
We look at that battle up there with Chevaleski and Allen in that one. I can report that Num was 0.3 of a second faster than that train of Allen, Chepelewski, and Hefford. So maybe it's working for the Roland Estonian back there.
Maybe it will. We'll have to keep an eye out at 25 now on the lead lap. It keeps shortening and shortening, but you remember a lot of drivers coming down and making those stops in these early stages. Lap 26 right now out of 47. So we're over halfway in this event now, Soup. And now you've got to start thinking, well, how long can I go on the fuel? How many more laps do I do? And how much fuel have I saved just sticking behind certain drivers?
Yeah, I think I kind of go with Errol Num. He thought, well, these guys are on my tail, this riding my coattails. I'll go out there and see if I can leave them behind. How about this battle for 23rd position? This is Neil Bamber. We just saw him loop the car around. He's now in a battle with the California kid, Eric Garcia, racing out there in the Eagle Nest Tavern machine. Good to see that sponsor car get a little screen time as they work their way around the slow car of Stevenson.
Yeah, they certainly do. There's also this battle still going on between Thyssen, Maillard, and Nice right now. And Drace Nice still hoping that he's got himself a good opportunity in the 081 to score. And there's
Let's go to Billy Bob Wright and Jeroen Ursum. A couple of veterans are trying to negotiate the racing line. They get together and it doesn't work out. Ursum in the pink car, Billy Bob Wright in the X-Class car up in front. Ursum has the outside. Billy Bob kind of comes across on him. I know that Billy Bob races with the Oculus Rift. He says, I have trouble sometimes looking around. Man, you have to turn his head all the way around to see that one. They get together. Bad news for the X-Class car.
It is, and well, Billy Bob Wright, this is one of the things that drivers have to deal with. Richard Worth pulls off, then he's lapped now by Kanchan. Oh, there's a big moment there for Worth trying to get back on. He'll have to get off the track yet again. No instant limit to let second, third, fourth, and fifth all go through. He'll let Rizzo go as well, so Richard Worth, big issues for him.
And Worth looks like Worth has come in. Yeah. Well, this will be a good indication because Worth was up there racing. We'll see where Num comes out in relationship to Worth.
Well,
Maillard also,
Yeah, Maillard coming out and away off of pit road. It was a good stop for him. He's behind Lord Murray and Lee Deemer, but Rathje, the Bay State Hammers, got the jump on Maillard, and that's very crucial in that because it means that Rathje now finds himself above the driver there of Maillard. That puts him effectively position number 7 on circuit here, Sue.
But they are miles behind the Roland Estonian, who is well out in front of those guys.
That's true. You look at the Rolling Estonian, he's in position 15 overall right now. And, well, you have to feel Irunom is just bounding in the laps. Alexander Lawrenson, though, right now, position 13. He's up an astonishing 31 places, Sue.
We documented it earlier when he had met up 20. He just keeps going. Now, some of that's a little misleading because some cars have pitted in front of him. But nevertheless, what a great run from him.
Yeah, it's a fantastic run from Alexander Lauritsen. Yes, he has to pit, and just there, Dan Hunt has also come down and made his stop. 28th position, 1 lap down. This is not a Dan Hunt circuit. I do not think it is, but eyes then on Allen, who's looking to keep on going through, and Chepelewski's actually lost a position now to Steve Hefford. So Hefford's taken advantage and taken the position. Where was that done then? And I have a feeling that was done in towards turn number 1, and you bet it was, Soup.
3 rookies back there racing for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Hefford, Chepelewski, and Ball. But you know, Deuce Allen is now a pitching wedge away from catching Sonny Katchen. That gap, only 2 seconds.
It was a 1.5 seconds though, Soup, so he's dropping back a little bit. So that pitching wedge soon to be a 9-iron, you'd feel, for John Allen to try and get through. So now Allen's got to be careful. He's got to set some really nice laps, and running wide a little bit coming up uphill, always going to put him backwards.
Not to the belabor the point, but the leader of all the cars who've pitted is still Errol Num, racing in 12th position. Nick Thiessen is the next car to have pit. He's back there in 15th. And remember, as you look at Thiessen right now, he's got Fike ahead of him and McDonald. Now, those guys are a lap down, so they'll be seeing the blue flag. But a lot of times, when you make that pit stop, you're racing for position, even though you're not on the same pit strategy. Let's stay with, boy, Thiessen is just getting crushed back there.
He is. He needs to get past Fike as quickly as he can. He'll try and do it into Westfield Bend, the right-hander. He'll hope to make that happen, and he just about will there on Geordie Fike. So gets around there, very nicely done, and well, with McDonald in front as well, Super, as you said, there's still a lot of work here for Nick Thiessen to do, and Thiessen's got to be careful.
A couple of L drivers come in. Lumberg and Lauritsen come in for their pit stop.
They certainly do. And well, Lundberg comes out and away, and behind Thiessen right now, Lauritsen out and away, and he's just behind Lee Diemer side by side with Lord Murray. But Lauritsen will be happy the fact that he's actually jumped Drace Nice in the stop. So thank you very much, Lauritsen. That's a top 10 for him as things stand, surely.
My gosh, what a great run. How about we go back to 14th position? Here's a nice battle between Lundberg, who just came out of the pits right now, with Ratche. All right, our leader's in. That is where we want to focus on.
Yeah, Sonny Katchen then has decided he wants to dive in. Irunom in comparison, where is he? Heading down the front straight, but look at that. Out and away goes Sonny Katchen, looking to get himself in towards turn numbers 1 and 2, Big Bend. And the gap, well, it has presented itself yet again, but Nom is not giving up on this one. He still has a chance to get himself P2 as things stand.
Now that gives the lead then to Deuce Allen, who's going to stay out.
He is. Well, he's hoping to stay out here. He rounds the final corner. Does he dive down onto the lane? I think you have to on lap 32, and he does. Allen in. Hefford stays out, though. So does Chepelewski in this situation. So now Allen's now having to decide to cover the move done then by Sonny Katchen. That's a big, big decision, too.
Yeah, I don't want to get on this again, as I'm getting a reputation for being a conspiracy theorist, but Katchen's pit stop, 11.1, that is about 2 seconds faster than anybody else on the track right now who's made a stop.
And we know he's very good at saving fuel, is Sonny Katchen. That's why he makes those advantages, and you can see Allen will lose those positions. In fact, Allen's longer on the stop. Vol will just go straight by and decide thank you very much and goodbye, because there's no way that Vol is going to keep himself behind that driver of what is going to be finally John Allen coming out. And I wonder if he's made a massive mistake on fuel, because he's behind Maillard.
Yeah, maybe we'll look and see about times there for Allen. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he's got Patrick Fliss just behind him, the Slovene machine down to the inside, and Fliss is going to steal the position away.
Yeah, Allen's pit stop time, it's got to be a penalty. 27 seconds in the box. That's about 15 seconds longer than anybody else. Boy, I think that seems like a speeding penalty for the Buckeye Bullet.
Oh, and the Bullet too quick. Chepelewski decides to dive down onto the lane. He needs to go in. Hefford onto the lane, and out and away goes the driver, Ludwig Sauer, back out on circuit. Hefford will be the first of those drivers to get back out on circuit, behind Nom, and behind Nom by a fair distance right now. It's the gap between the leaders well, it stands at about 4 seconds right now between Nom and Kanchin. And, well, you feel right now that Hefford's done a very good job in the stops. What a good run Steve Hefford's had today.
Last driver still waiting to come in is the Bay State Hammer. Tom Ratchey is yet to make his stop. I thought he did stop, but my timing is going... No, he made a stop. No, he has not. Yes, he did. He did. Oh, he stopped a long time ago. That's right. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he certainly was. And, well, Ratja certainly making progress, top 10. And, well, Pavel in again, and he's having just the most horrible day right now. He had that stop-go to deal with in the early stages, but now it seems that Pavel running into a few issues in the 111.
John Allen again. It was Deuce Allen that, Allen had that penalty that he had to serve. Maybe he didn't serve it properly. Maybe he got a technical foul
as well.
Yeah, he sped on the way out. Yeah.
Well, the bullet in too quick, the bullet out too quick then. So that's going to be a nightmare race for him so far. But let's just get your top 10 sorted again. Kanchin leads, Nom second, Hefford now in third. It's Vol in fourth with Schwenke fifth, Chepelewski behind now in sixth. Thyssen seventh with Bashlob, the amateur, in eighth. Lundberg ninth, and Ratja rounds out the top 10 with Maillard very, very close behind. But Lundberg right now trying to get past King and Holland and then to get to Schlob. This is a really difficult race for drivers. The traffic now becoming very, very big, and I believe you're going to go through the lap traffic guide.
Yeah, and with Jake doing the top 10, let's go back to the last car on the lead lap as we do our Eagle Nest Tavern backmarker salute. Right now, it is Jonathan Boutel. I'll get that in quickly because here comes Sonny Ketchen to put him a lap down. So luckily we got to the backmarker salute before Ketchen puts him a lap down. Gotta hustle as we get up to Dennis Garrison. He's right behind him is Ketchen. He's racing in 23rd position. 22nd position, how about Daniel Hunt, the rookie, who had such a great season so far, had to start from the back, not able to make up as much ground as he would have hoped for. Up to 21st, Robert Valenga. He started in 29th position, up 8 spots. Let's go a couple more. We got to go all the way up to Kip Stevens. That's the amateur driver. He is up 2 spots, started in 22nd. Cesare Rizzo in 19th spot right now is up there. Quickly, let's go over to Lee Deemer on a replay. Lee Deemer, that's going to wrap up our Eagle Nest Tavern backmarker review as Lee Deemer just spun it. I think actually might have blown an engine and then the car got loose and he puts it in the wall. Lee Deemer was racing, I guess he was on the 1 lap down, so he was there. He goes, sorry Lee, get you a little screen time on that. If you're ever in Green Valley Lake, go and stop into Eagle Nest Tavern. Pick up a hot meal and a cold drink.
Yeah, you certainly do, and it's all starting to get a little bit hectic here with the likes of this battle going on. Let's look at Lundberg right now in the B2O machine, trying to defend against Tom Ratcher, the Bay State Hammer, going around the outside for the final spot inside of the top 10, and doesn't manage to do it inside, though, for the left-hander. And now Patrick Fliss trying to make a recovery here today. And don't count Lauritsen out, who's just 1 vehicle away from that as well. Ratcher trying everything against Lundberg on the outside. Don't make it 3 wide. Here's a push almost coming from Patrick Fliss, who tries to make things happen outside line. It is going to stay, and look at that. He's trying everything right now, is Ratcher, and I think he's got it.
My goodness, a nice pass from Tom. Not over yet, though. There we go. Yeah, I think it is now over, yep.
Yeah, it has to be now. So great move from Tom Ratcher. He's up into the top 10. Started 16th for the day, but look just behind
comes.
Alexander Lauritsen's thinking Patrick Fliss is money here. There's a top 10 at stake.
Every race we get one of these. Last time at Donington, it was Boss Slob going through the field. Right now, it's Lauritsen having the race of anybody out there.
Well, sometimes you are on a roll, but they call this guy butter. I think he certainly is on a roll, Sue.
Oh, you are dropping the poker cliches today, aren't you? Right now, and look at this. He has his teammate as he's trying to get around. That's Patrick Fliss.
Yeah, he certainly does have to, and in front of that, you got Evan Maillard trying to just get through that traffic, unable to just quite make that happen. So still, Lundberg trying to hold on to this one, trying to get himself into position, keep himself into play as he looks for the top 10. It's a massive scrap for the top 10. You've got to be patient in this situation, especially with traffic here. Stevenson will have to get out of the way and does so. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, and that's Lauritsen in again.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you the pit stop times because it is so suspicious. Sonny Ketchen in the box for 11.1 seconds. The next fastest pit stop, nobody was able to get under 13. He was literally 1.9 seconds faster in his box than everybody else. How do you do that? Maybe in Australia because of the Coriolis effect. The fuel comes out faster. I don't know. My gosh, he is quick.
He is certainly very quick indeed. And, well, Sonny Ketchen will be hoping to keep himself going in this event, keep himself on the chase for what is a third straight win here in the MX-5 World Tour and trying to keep themselves going forward. You still got those battles going on. Czepeleski versus Schwenke. This is for the top 5 out on circuit. Half a second between them. And Schwenke slow into turn number 1. And Czepeleski closes right up to the rear.
Those two guys will stay on that battle. They race behind Tom Erik Vold, who's having a great race out of Norway. Look at that car taking a move there. That is Czepeleski trying to find a way anyway around Schwenke.
Anyway, around Schwenke he tries, but no way he's making it through. Dory's going to just keep swimming in this situation, and Czepeleski is hoping that he's going to get himself a chance of a top 5 finish. Remember, he struggled in the opening 2 rounds, and he needs a lot of help in the latter part of the season to keep himself back in play overall. And right now you have to feel it's just a case of looking, not a case of making the move just yet.
You know, this is the type of track that really plays into Ketchen's advantage here. It's a skill track where he can break the draft and then just get along on his speed. And right now, that's what's happening. He's just putting up the laps, putting them down. He has the best lap time of a 56.7.
Oh, it's fantastic to see Sonny Ketchen and the way that he just negotiates everything and just tries to break away. The lap time's now into the 58s for a lot of drivers, up to the minutes for a couple of drivers as well, but still you look further back towards the top 10 and Lundberg's lost the position then overall to Patrick Fliss, and that's a very crucial position for Fliss to take because it puts him in 11th. He's got to stay though with Ratcher, the Bay State Hammer, 0.8 of a second. He's falling back.
And we can talk about, if we look at that battle there with Lundberg having that great race. I'll just highlight Boslav again, our top amateur, racing in 8th position. Not another amateur to be found until we get all the way down to Cesare Rizzo in 18th.
And Cesare Rizzo hasn't had the best of races this season, and this will be a welcome return to him and getting himself forward in this event. He's doing very, very well overall when it comes to that level that he certainly does bring. But oh my goodness, Czepeleski almost into the back of Schwenke at turn 3.
Boy, we've been waiting for Czepeleski to have this race, and he's finally got one.
Finally got one, but he's got to make the moves now. If he wants that top 5 here, Soup, he's got to get moving.
And they might be closing in a little bit of a ball up there in 4th. This could be interesting here with 6 laps to go. I don't think Ball's all that safe in 4th position. The podium looks pretty good. How about Steve Hefford, Jake? Haven't hardly talked about him. 3rd place. Nice run.
Yeah, very good run from Steve Hefford. And this is the run that you expect Hefford to have once in a while. And it's certainly come at the right moment for him to try and get up onto the podium. But the battle going on, lap 43 of 47. So 5 laps to go for Tom Erik Vold to hold off Schwenke and Czepeleski for position number 4. And this is the thing, he's being reeled in. That was 0.2 of a second the last time they crossed the line. So Vold, this is a trial by fire for the debutant.
Yeah, the veteran of Schwenke back there. We'll see how he does as he races in there. I think he's closing them in. They go over the hill. Whee! Now down into West Bend. They're coming up on the back of Gene Fittis. Fittis will know how to get out of the way.
Well, hopefully he will get out of the way as we seem to have a musical moment there here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But by the by, we keep on going, and Czepeleski hoping that he can keep himself in play, and he's trying everything to try and close that gap down. But the issue is the slipstream effect, because you look at what is happening with Schwenke. Schwenke's got the draft of Vold.
Yeah, he's there now. Now the pressure. They're actually got a shot at getting to Hefford here with 4 laps to go. Hefford's got about 2.2 seconds, but the pace that Vold is running, we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Ketchen, again, don't forget about fuel, boys and girls. He's got 6.2 seconds out there.
6.2 seconds can go away on the final laps if he's not careful, but this is such a circuit where you can be a little bit more marginal if you try. He hasn't had any draft to work with all day except the lap traffic, and that's something that Sonny Kanchin has got to be very, very careful of, as he's got 3 laps to go in this event. Schwenke right now under a lot of pressure from Chepelevsky after that final corner, and now surely Chepelevsky will have a run towards turn number 1 out on circuit. He moves to the inside, and is it top 5 fill for Chepelevsky? I think it is for now. He holds the apex nicely, and that's position 5.
Yeah, and he has visions of grandeur in his mind right now, as I think he's looking to get up to 4th as well.
And there's also a battle going on, P7, P8, as Baz Schlob wants P7 away from Nick Thyssen, and Thyssen's not going to give it up against the driver he knows so well.
They work. This will be fun as they head up to the uphill. Let's stay on this a little bit, because the passing has really been out of 5, which is right here, and down into 6 if they can make this move. Let's see what kind of run that Slob can get. I think he's too far back. He's not going to be able to get there before 6.
No, not close enough just yet. 2 laps to go in this event, and Soup, it has been a clinic of driving here from all of these drivers.
Yeah, I think Hans Milua Casino, those guys who put that number down at 13, they were expecting a lot more attrition. My goodness, it's unbelievable. There are only 5 cars that have really had serious damage. 6 cars that are out. Everyone else still racing. Everyone else still racing well. Patrick Fliss, though, trying to keep himself going under pressure from Lundberg, who tries on the outside, but that's not going to work then for them, and they've got to be careful in this situation. Don't give up any more time. They've lost the back of the top 10, and that's something also to keep an eye out on the final stages. Maillard against Ratja. He'll have 1 lap to do it, because for Sonny Kanchin, he's got now the white flag lap only, and eyes go to the fuel that Sonny Kanchin has. He's got 7 seconds to play with as he tries to make his last charge to the line. So Sonny Kanchin, eyes on the fuel number. Has he got it inched to perfection, and has he got himself an opportunity? Chepelevsky behind versus Schwenke. That one, Schwenke, I think, is a bit too far back to make the big move into turn number 1. Thyssen versus Schlob. Schlob's falling away. Maillard versus Ratja. Ratja not close enough. What can Fliss do? Not much. Lundberg, not much on the runs in towards turn number 1. So they'll have to sit and wait and hope another opportunity comes their way. But it's uphill now for Sonny Kanchin. It's now a couple of corners away for Sonny Kanchin. Surely it is going to be a 3rd straight victory for Sonny Kanchin as he rounds himself through Westfield Bend. As he now heads to the final corner, it's downhill all the way from here, and Sonny Kanchin with perfect fuel yet again. The perfect man, the fuel whisperer, Sonny Kanchin. Kanchin if you can. It's 3 from 3 here on the World Tour. Sonny Kanchin wins, and Irunom can only muster a 2nd place. 3rd will go to Steve Hefford as they make their charges to the line, and it's still not over further back here, Soup. Chepelevsky gets the best of Schwenke. Let's see if Maillard is in a battle. Looks like Maillard's going to be comfortable in 9th. He's going to come ahead of Tom Ratchey in 10th. See if we can pick up one more battle that might be out there. How about way back to Lawrenson? It looks like Lawrenson is this up. Nope, he's coming up on a back marker. 17th when it's all said and done for him from 44th. Nice race for that guy.
And that puts him that's a very good job here. He actually overtakes the amateur Cesare Rizzo as well towards the end. 2nd for Cesare Rizzo, not bad. And there's a spin at the end there, and that's Lawrenson. And we were talking about him doing a very good job. That's a rare mistake.
Came up back Holland. He's going to lose some spots. Should be able to limp that car across the line, though, on the lead lap.
He will. It's 19th, though. It's 20th, actually, overall. So he's the last of the vehicles on the lead lap. And with everyone finished, we're going to step aside for one moment. When we come back here on the Global Sim Racing channel, well, what we are going to do is we're going to head to the Eagle's Nest Tavern wrap-up, or as I like to call it, the post-race show. And when we run down the entire finishing order, we may get an opportunity to talk to some drivers, and eventually we'll be closing up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Eagle's Nest Tavern wrap-up show. Green Valley Lake is the best-kept secret in Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains. While visiting, stop into the Eagle's Nest Tavern for a hot meal and a cold drink. They're on Facebook. So, with the last of the Lime Rock lovers over the line, it is time to take a look at the final standings from this event, and it's the same old story here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Sonny Katchin wins by 7 seconds over Iru Nom, no fuel concerns at all. Steve Hefford will finish in third, the rookie, with Tom Eric Voll on his debut in fourth, and Stelian Chepeleski in fifth. It's Travis Schwenke just keeping swimming in sixth position, with Nick Thyssen doing a great job in seventh, holding off Baz Schlob, the leading amateur. Evan Maillard on his return finishes ninth, and it's the Bay State hammer Tom Ratger finishing in the top 10 too.
In the 11th position, it is the Slovene machine Patrick Fliss. Noel Lundberg, 15th to 12th for him as he comes home there. The Baker's Dozen spot, Dries Nice, followed by Brian Holmes. Neil Bambi had a nice spot in 15th. All ribbons and curls in 16th is the California kid, Eric Garcia. 17th is Cesare Rizzo, followed by Kip Stevens, a couple amateur drivers going back-to-back there. Pavel Herman in 19th, and rounding out the 20th. Last car on the lead lap. All you guys who bet the over at the casino are winners. It's Alexander Lordson. Jake?
It is. Robert Weilinger then finishes in 21st, 22nd. Well, we call him Deuce. He's in double deuce. It's John Allen there in 22nd. Dan Hunt, 45th to 23rd. It's a bad point stay for him with Jonathan Butel in 24th. Then you got Dennis Gerritsen, Ludwig Saar, Andy Goodison. Nicholas Gali there not having the best day in 28th, with Mark King in 29th. And Lorne Murray, the Scotsman, rounding out 30.
31st is Max Wright, just ahead of Joe McDonald. Getting a little bit of a rookie treatment here, trying to learn his way through, is Richard Worth. Qualified second, going to finish in 33rd. Derek Holland, Jordy Fife behind him. Al Heaton, Atsushi Maeda in 37th position for the Japanese driver. Stevenson in 38th. 39th goes to Gene Fittith, Lee Deemer in 40th. I'll just wrap these up. Jeroen Urson, Billy Bob Wright, George Dankirk there, Scott Brazier, 44th position. And I don't think that David Third Degree Burns took the grid. So there you have it, those two pro drivers at the back. 45 drivers on the charts, Jake.
45 drivers on the charts. And Soup, you've been asking all the questions. I think I'll let you have it. Sonny Katchin in the booth.
All right, his four wheels scare the cockatoo from Kintor East to Newman Dew. He does it again. I know we talked about it, Sonny. It just seems unfair to be so fast, both on the track and in the pits. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the numbers, but you were almost 2 seconds faster than anybody else in your box.
Yeah, I think I survived. I think it was race. It was very nerve-wracking race. I mean, I think I got a bit of a breather when Richard went off. Richard Worth, he was following, but he was pretty close. And then had to keep my eye on the mirror and then bring it home. Like you said, I had a good pit stop too, once again, this time around, and I was glad I was able to survive, because it was very challenging at times with the back markers, having to the lap traffic, having to pass them. But I shout out to everyone. I think they deserve the back marker honor. Definitely, they did a great job letting me by. I think the timing was perfect for me as well.
Yeah, both Jake and I were shaking our heads at how little attrition and how well the back markers got out of the way. I mean, we had 45 cars out there at Lime Rock, and the attrition was way down. I know you race in a lot of races, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you can get your memory to go back to Spa, the opening round, a real similar event where when you're in a long train, you're out in front, and then Worth has an issue, and all of a sudden it kind of opens it up for you again. Real kind of the same kind of story.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm kind of having a good season.
Yeah.
And like happy to be in the zone. Having qualifying lap to get a pole, it's something. I think having worked together with team as well, that helped. All the practice sessions and. But it was close. I was prepared for having a battle as well, because the competition is so high this time around as well. And then it allowed me a few mistakes here and there from the competition allowed me to just survive and be smooth, and I think that was enough. I think experience is key as well.
Yeah, I'll get you out of here on this question. We do a lot of draft tracks, and that kind of levels the playing field. But it's kind of nice to be at a track like this, and we have another one that's similar to this later on in the season. When we go to Brands Hatch, we're doing the Indy layout there, the real short one. Do you kind of feel that really kind of gives you an advantage where it's technical sections and maybe not so draft dependent?
Yeah, definitely. I love such tracks where there are lots of technical sections involved, and that'll be my go-to track any time of the day. So looking forward to that for sure. I think that's one of my key strengths, to actually tackle a technical track compared to a draft one. If it's a draft track like Spa or this one, I'd be hoping for a gap, so there's no draft or a tow available for the person behind me, like what happened this race.
Congratulations, 3 for 3. Keep it going. We'll look forward to see if we can do 4 in a row as we go to Phillip Island next time.
Yeah, thank you, Sub. I appreciate everyone out there racing today, and everyone watching this as well. You guys do a great job. And for Richard for watching it as well. Richard Losper from and everyone else, the sponsors. Thank you once again. I'm looking forward to next time. Cheers.
Good job. Our race winner today, he is 3 for 3 and on his way for his 3rd championship, and that is Sonny Ketchen. Okay, who are we looking at next, boys?
Well, I've got Iru Nom here in the booth with me. Iru, P2 today. It looked good for you, but the early stop tried to come into play. You were always back time a bit, and in the end, it just didn't happen.
Well, the first time I think I had decent enough pit stop, but I think my setup was way too aggressive, because in lap 10 already the rear tires were gone.
Well, rear tires were already going, and that's one of the things with open setup you've got to be careful about. So in terms of what you bring to the table, of course, you're the reigning champion. You've been getting a few good position twos throughout the opening rounds of the season. Are you hoping that Sonny Ketchen just has a bad day?
No, I'm happy with second at this point.
At this point, he's happy then with second place results. But Phillip Island then, in 2 weeks' time, similar in some respects, different in others. It's a very high-speed, draft-dependent track. Do you feel that you've got more of an advantage to place yourself very well when you get into that sort of situation, maybe?
Yeah, I think generally I do well in Phillip Island and in trap tracks, so yeah, it will be much harder for Sonny to get away. I think it's no way.
Well, it's a little bit harder in some respects, easier in others. Before we let you go, Iru, any shout-outs or sponsors?
No.
Short and sweet then. Iru Nom then, the rolling Estonian there joining us. And I believe you found another friend, Soup, that we talked to earlier on today.
Yeah, let's follow up. We'll talk about to the Season 8 champion. We talked about him in the pre-race show. Evan, did you knock a little bit of the rust off there? Feel good?
Well, yeah, I surely knocked some rust off, but I'm still quite slow. So,
have you raced much in the? It's been a long time. I don't know how when you actually stepped away. Have you raced much in the 2016 MX-5?
I haven't raced the MX-5 in 2016. Like until May to 2016, I haven't touched it. So yeah, it's been a while. It's hard to get back. I wish I was faster today, but yeah, and the fact that it's at Lime Rock, it doesn't help either.
Well, let me tell you, I got to give you thank you, first of all, because those of us who are talent challenged, it's nice to see that you actually had to struggle a little bit. It would be really annoying for you just to come back and be that fast again. So for all of us who have to work so hard, thanks for making us feel good. I'll get you out on this one. I know you're doing some real world racing. Is that kind of slowed down for you for a while?
I haven't been doing that either for like the last year or so. I've only been doing like a race a year or so. So yeah, it's been going slow as well. I don't know. It's hard to get the funding.
Yeah, boy, I think you've preaching to all the race drivers out there who know what you're saying. Hey, congratulations on! It's good to see you back. Hopefully, we'll see you. What do you think? 2 weeks from Phillip Island? That should be a good one for you. Is that your schedule going to allow that?
Yeah, I should be able to do it
Cool.
in 2 weeks for sure. So yeah, hopefully Phillip Island suits me better for a comeback.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Evan Maillard, your Season 8 champion, he comes in 9th position today.
He certainly does. And well, from a former champion to an amateur leader, Bajlov Baz, that was the result you were looking for here today. Top 10 amateur category leader now, and arguably you had a very good scrap towards the end with Nick Thyssen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I tried it once to get by with him, but it's really tricky on this track to overtake. And then I made a couple mistakes after that, so then I lost a little bit of time, and then I didn't have enough time left to try another one. But yeah, it was a nice battle.
Always was a very nice battle. Now, some of the anticipation around you is that sometimes you have been given the unfortunate nickname of unluckiest sim racer in the world. I think we passed that off to Riley Preston a few months ago, but for yourself, getting a good bit of form right now at the start of the season, do you think you can carry this on to Phillip Island?
Yeah, I hope so. I've been doing a lot more practice with the MX-5, and that helps a lot to see if someone makes a mistake and to avoid the collision with that, stuff like that. So yeah, hope that helps.
Hope it certainly does help. So before we let you go, any shout outs, any sponsors?
No, not really. I'm thanks to Nick and Dennis, we trained together a little bit, so that's why I knew I couldn't overtake Nick anyway. But yeah, thanks to them.
It's why he knew he couldn't overtake, but he'll be very happy with a top 10 finish indeed. So that was the driver of Bajlov, starting 12th, finishing in 8th position overall there today. So right now you have to feel, Soup, that
I got some breaking news in here, because this is why I get paid the big bucks. I have done some research. I've ran down my sources, and this is what's hot off the press. I'm getting news that Boslav is actually going to be promoted to the pro class starting in Phillip Island. He's going to be a little too fast to be racing back there for the amateur. So that's the kind of news you want to get. In England, they do that in soccer, right? You get bumped up with the race to play the big boys, right?
Yes, you get promotion and relegation. How very, very nice to see that certainly being implemented. But unfortunately, that's probably all that we're going to have time for this evening. So we'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. And also thanks to Heusinkveld as well. Affordable simulator software and hardware are thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with unparalleled realism. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula Ford, GP3, GP2 and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better car driver and get in touch today. We also have to give a few thanks to the folks at Tidal Influence and Eagle's Nest Tavern, and of course the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right about now that we use on our broadcast. And of course the original music you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact them each.
We hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and if you did, you want to come back in 2 weeks when Jake, Joe, and myself will be at Phillip Island. This is October 21st for round 4. And of course, we hope you join us for that. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is the Global Sim Racing channel. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
And finally, on behalf of the man on my right, Bill Soupzan, the man behind the desk, our director Joe Peake, and the man who some say once busked in the middle of Detroit with only Sir Jackie Stewart's tartan cap, our camera guru Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.